What's going on, YouTube? It's your boy Yella, hitting you guys with an update video for this Galaxy Tab S6, last year's model that I got a pretty good deal on. As you can see, I'm rocking the book cover case that keeps the S Pen intact. I really like that design. So let's talk about it a little bit. So a few things. I have some thoughts. I've been using it for about 24 hours or so. Let's see. Oh, it worked that time, so that's good. The face unlock is hit or miss at times. When it works great. When it doesn't work, it's kind of frustrating. The in-screen fingerprint sensors, man, I'm just not a fan. I just really want companies to go back to just physical fingerprint scanners, because just trying to locate different things, especially at night, if I just want to roll over and grab this thing and check a couple things out, I don't want to have to fumble around with it. But either way, this tablet is very impressive. All right. The screen quality is amazing. Samsung makes the best screens on their phones, and the tablet is no different. Very vivid, colorful, colors pop on the screen. And the speakers, I love them. I thought I had really good speakers on the iPad until I got this Tab S6. And it doesn't blow the iPad away, but it's definitely better in my opinion. The speakers are better. And I was kind of surprised by that. The S Pen has been very functional, very smooth. I love the soft tip of the S Pen against the screen. The experience that you get, just jotting things down here is very pleasurable. Not that it isn't on the iPad Pro, but there's a lot of clunkiness when you're tapping the screen with the Apple Pencil that you don't get that here. And to me, it feels better when you're taking notes. And I mean, there's a lot of software. This thing just takes advantage with the S Pen. So I definitely like that about the tablet. Now, where things kind of fall short, to me, this aspect ratio, because I'm so used to using my 11-inch iPad Pro in portrait mode, right? So this is typically how I use it, in portrait mode, and I can take notes and do everything I need to do. It just feels right. It's nicely weighted, and with the 11-inch screen, and I don't know I want to say it's like 4:3 for the aspect ratio. I could be wrong. You guys can let me know in the comments. But this aspect ratio has been phenomenal for me over the years, and I'm so used to it that it's tough to then go to a more narrow screen in portrait mode. So if I know I'm asking for a lot, but if this was stretched out just a little bit more, Super AMOLED, because I want to say the S7 is an 11-inch screen and this is a 10.5. But if they could, if they copy each other, and I'm not saying that Samsung always copies Apple. Apple copies a lot of Samsung things as well. But just mimic the screen. Like give me the 11-inch screen, give me the same aspect ratio, and then we can talk. But right now, with it being so narrow, it just feels awkward to hold it that way. Now, if you can get away from that and use it more in landscape mode, then that's where it's going to shine. Very comfortable. Like I said, great speakers, beautiful screen. The S Pen works great on it. The only downside, I guess, from if you had to choose between the two, is that you're going to get less pro-ish apps, I would say. For example, on the iPad Pro, I use an app called LumaFusion, and I'm sure you guys have heard of it by now. But that's how I edit a lot of my videos when I do decide to edit videos. A lot of times I just go one take Jake. You know how you do. Just, hey, point and shoot, right? But when I do edit, LumaFusion is what I lean on. And that app, I want to say I spent like maybe $20 back in the day for it. So that's been great. I don't have a lot of experience with editing things on an Android tablet. From what I hear, though, there aren't a whole lot of options. So you want to keep that in mind if you're deciding between, going with an iPad or doing a Samsung tablet. But aside from that, this thing is really, really nice. Like, I don't see or haven't come across many things that I don't like about it, other than the frustration of the fingerprint scanner, which, by the way, it only registered one thumb. I tried to do my left thumb, and it just did not like my left thumb. And I tried it like 3 or 4 different times. So there's that. But that, accompanied with the aspect ratio, that makes it a little difficult for me. That's just my opinion based on how I use devices. So, and the aspect ratio really shows too, once you go into, and I'll use this as an example, when you're pulling up, and I'll pull up Safari. So Chrome over here on the Tab S6, and I got Safari running on the iPad Pro. And if we're just looking at Apple.com, for example, look at the difference here in showing content, right? So 10.5 over here, 11-inch here. And to me, I'm going to rock with the left side all day, because now I get to see what's upcoming. I can tell this is about the iPhone. Over here, you got to scroll a little bit just to figure out what's going on. I mean, that could be a petty gripe, but I got to call it out since I noticed it right away, obviously, because I have more experience with the using the iPad on a day-to-day basis. So it's tough for me to make that transition from having this kind of screen real estate down to something like this. Is a lot more narrow, in my opinion. But if you can get around that, or, I mean, maybe you don't have any experience with the iPad Pros, you just moved it out of the way and you're working from here, you can kind of get used to the aspect ratio. I don't think you'd have any issues with this tablet whatsoever. Like I said, you're going to get a great screen, probably the best, even on laptops. Like Samsung makes some incredible screens. So probably the best screen available. The screen is even better from what I hear on that S7 Plus tablet. If you decide to go with something like that, and I think those are still on sale as well. I'm kind of glad I didn't pick that one up, though, because if I'm struggling already with, this narrow 10.5 inch display, just imagine the 12.4, which comes out even taller. So that's got to be really awkward using in portrait mode. So good luck if you're going to get that one. I mean, and I have pretty big hands. So, but if you're going to use it primarily, as like a laptop replacement, then that 12.4 inch S7 Plus is probably the way to go, because you'll get a lot more screen real estate there to get work done. But Dex mode and let me see if I can go into Dex. Dex mode, I love the idea of it. I don't know how I would use it. I would definitely figure out different ways to use it to my advantage. I do have like a Bluetooth mouse or something that I can use, but I love that the Samsung gives you this kind of flexibility, which to me potentially makes this more of a productivity device than, like the iPad Pro. The iPad, you have to really buy into the apps. Like if there are certain apps that you can use on here for your workflow, it's going to make it worth your while. Outside of that, if the same apps are offered on this Android tablet, I would say to go with this one, because you're going to save money. So that's always a good thing. And you're going to have a really good experience. So the gaming and things on here has been good. I tested out a couple of my favorite games that I normally like to play, like the 2K basketball and the DH5. Those work great on here. So no complaints there. So really, my only reservation is the aspect ratio. Can I get used to this now instead of the 4:3 or whatever ratio this one is? That is the toughest call for me. Outside of that, the speakers are better, screen is better, the writing experience is just as good. So very comparable. I did not expect this tablet to hold its own. It definitely does. And especially if you're getting this thing for around the same price that I got it, around $500, as opposed to dropping. I don't even remember how much I paid for this thing. I know it had to be like at least 1,000 because this is the 256, and it has the LTE slot. So there you have it. Hit me up in the comments. Let me know if you guys are planning on picking up a tablet or anything for the holiday season. If you come across the deals that I tried to call out for you guys, let me know what you think. Android versus iOS from the tablet perspective. Let me know your thoughts. It's your boy Yella. Until the next one, I'm out. Peace.